Hello students, this is a continuation video of the discussion on Another Woman. Another Woman అనే పోయం గురించిన డిస్కషన్కి సంబంధించి ఇది సెకండ్ వీడియో. Another Woman. So what happens in the poem so far? What has happened? The woman went to market and she bought methi and she came back home and found that her mother-in-law was very angry, and still she went into the kitchen and started cutting the methi. See, it is given in the first stanza. Took the leaves and chopped them. Her hand stained yellow from the juice. Cut an onion fine and cooked the whole thing in the pot over the stove, shielding her face from the heat. So she started cutting the methi and yellow, stained yellow. Stain means maraka. So her hands became stained, okay, got stained. They became yellow. That was the juice that came out of this methi. And cut an onion kuda cut chesindi. Then the whole thing she put on the stove in a pot and on the stove paina pettesindi. Then shielding her face from the heat. So she was trying to shield her face from the heat of the stove నుంచి వచ్చే హీట్ నుంచి తను కాపాడుకోవడానికి ట్రై చేస్తుంది తన ఫేస్ని. వాట్ డస్ ఇట్ మీన్? దట్ షీ ఈస్ కుకింగ్ ఎనీవే, ఓకే, బట్ దిస్ ఈజ్ ఎ సింబాలిక్. మేబీ వై దిస్ హీట్ ఈజ్ దట్ ఆఫ్ her in-law, her mother-in-law, that she is very angry with her, and the heat is a symbolic of her anger. ఓకే, వాళ్ళ మదర్ ఇన్లో చాలా యాంగ్రీగా ఉంది అనేది తెలియజేస్తుంది. తను ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేసుకుంటుంది తనని తాను ఆమె యొక్క యాంగర్ నుంచి, తన మదర్ ఇన్లో యాంగర్ నుంచి. దెన్ go to the second stanza. The usual words came and bet their wings against her. The money spent, curses heaped upon her parents who had sent her out to darken other people's doors. Then she started abusing this woman, who her mother-in-law started scolding her. What did she say? That she was sent to this house to darken their house, darken their doors. Okay, she was sent by her parents to darken the other people's doors. వీళ్ళ డోర్స్ని డార్క్ చేయడానికి పంపించబడింది అనేసి తిడుతూ ఉంటుంది. వాట్ డస్ ఇట్ మీన్? దట్ షీ కేమ్ to this house to what shall I say, make them unlucky, right? That she was unlucky for them, she thought, okay, her mother-in-law thought, and in fact, that she brought all the bad luck to the family, her mother-in-law says. She crouched as usual on the floor beside the stove when the man came home. When the man came home, she did not look into his face nor raise her head, but bent her back a little more. Nothing gave her the right to speak. See, she crouched, tanu vangindi as usual, and on the floor beside the stove, and her husband came. Then she did not look into his face. What happened here? It is left to our imagination that he came into the kitchen and he started beating her, that she simply crouched, and what happened then? She did not raise her head even, but bent her back a little more. Nothing gave her the right to speak. She did not even speak. Why she did not speak? Because whatever he was doing, she was taking that. Okay, she was accepting that. and she was not saying anything against her husband. She watched the flame hiss up and bet against the cheap old pot, a wing of brightness against its blackened cheek. She watched the flame hiss up. So flame was, there under the pot, and she was watching it and bet against the cheap and old pot. So the flame was beating the pot, which was, black, already black. So here, it's a symbolic again. What does it symbolize? Heat is nothing but the anger of her mother-in-law or her husband, and beating anyway, her scoldings and even this husband's beating. Okay, a wing of brightness against its blackened cheek. The pot has a cheek and it is blackened. It is on the flame and it is getting blackened. అది బ్లాక్ అవుతూ ఉందన్నమాట పాత్ర, దానిపైన పెట్టిన పాత్ర బ్లాక్ అవుతూ ఉంది. ఎందుకంటే ఆ ఫ్లేమ్ కొడుతుందన్నమాట, దాంతో ఫ్లేమ్ బ్లాక్ చేస్తుంది ఈ పాత్రని. అంటే అర్థం ఏంటి? సో దిస్ husband and her mother-in-law, or scolding her, beating her, all, whatever they are doing, is making her sad, and uh, really she is, accepting many abuses, and she is even beaten up like anything by her husband. That we can understand. It's not given directly. It's not mentioned that her husband was beating her, and he mentioned చేయలేదు, but we can understand that they are very angry with her, and all the oppression, all what shall I say, abuse that came through from her husband and from her mother-in-law, that she was taking. This was the house she had been sent to, the man she had been bound to, the future she had been born into. Really, that was very unlucky on her part, that she came to such a house where she had to take all the abuses and beating. Okay, so when the kerosene was thrown, it is the last second stanza. When the kerosene was thrown, just a moment of surprise, a brilliant spark. It was the only choice that she had ever known. So when kerosene was thrown, and another torch blazing in the dark, another woman, we shield our faces from the heat. So another woman was burnt on fire. Some kerosene was thrown upon her body. Who threw kerosene? It is also again left to our imagination. Maybe that she did it on her own, that she poured kerosene on herself, and she even lit, so that she was burnt up like anything. And we shield our faces from the heat. So as society, what is the society doing when she is getting burnt up? The society is turning away its face from the heat of this burning up. She is